Good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry you will not have Matthew Hughs today, which everybody was expecting, I suppose. Tuesday, Mr. Hashi phoned me asking if I could replace him. I don't think I will replace him. I will do myself, okay? What I really feel inspired to talk about. So the title is Mentally Fragile to Mentally Strong. What is fragile? What does it mean, someone who is fragile? What does it mean, something with fragile? It breaks easily, okay? That's what is fragile. It's there, it appears perfect, but don't hit it too much, it breaks. So, if you look at Father, he definitely was not fragile. But how is it that Father was not fragile? What did he do to become strong and not fragile? What did Father do? No idea? From very young age, he trained himself to many things, okay? From many young age. Now, I'm going to be 80 soon. I still continue to train myself. So no excuse for any of you. You can still train yourself, okay? There's never too late to change something and to better ourselves, never. So God give us what we need to change. So Father's life has been an example for us. Now I'm not going to talk about Father's life. However, it's good not to forget that, because it's where we come from, okay? Let's look about the story of the first member in Korea. The same, incredible sacrifice, incredible offering to God. When you think about some parents who left their children in orphanage because they had to go for the mission, that's a broken heart. And Father suffered to have to ask that to the members. But that was the emergency of the time. So in Europe, if you know the story of Europe, true parents are very grateful about the missionary of mainly Austria, who went to East Europe and to Russia and all those countries under communism, and really went through very difficult paths. You can read that book, Mission Butterfly. If you don't know, please borrow it from somebody or buy it at the church, and you read the stories. Quite dramatic things happened to them. But they stand strong. They didn't break. And true father and mother appreciate that, because even true mother not so long ago said to the members in America, is because some European members went to the eastern of Europe that you are free today here in America. And I think it's the same for our Western country in Europe. So we can be grateful today to those missionaries who went to the eastern of Europe at the risk of their life, and some lost their life. There is a sister who lost her life, I think in Hungary, and died in prison. And when I was at the farm in the 80s, early 80s, we received a message that there was a brother who was shot in Russia because his face, he had been discovered as a missionary, he was shot. We didn't hear about that after, so I don't know if it's true. But some people in the world have risked their life. And today, there is still so many Christians who risk their life, and maybe members, we don't know. What about the members in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Syria? What happened to them? So we have to think that there is people who have to be strong for their faith and carry on, despite of the challenges. Now, the first generation, even the first generation who are here, have gone through difficult paths many times. I'm going to tell you a story I've been witnessing myself. We were in France with the One World Crusade, which is like a group of members who move from country to countries for witnessing and to fundraise to support themselves. And it was in 1975 in France, where I was at the time. We received a threat threat from the communists. But they were working together with a Christian. And they were message saying there is bomb in our centers. They're going to explode. And we, at first we didn't believe, But in Paris, a bomb explodes at the front of the building. And one of our members, who was the mother of the group at the time, she was completely wounded from her side. I don't know how she managed to have children after that, but she got children, fortunately. But she has been wounded, and she was 1 year in hospital. Plus many, many more months of retraining her body. So this is the type of things we saw. Now I was in the Château de Moni, which was the workshop center in Brittany. I was there for 4 months, I think, 3 or 4 months. And because it was the workshop center like Clivos, if you want, but at the time there was a lot of activity with the deprogrammer, for those who remember, who do brainwashing, because they thought we were destroyed, so we need to be brainwashed, So by them, and there was a lot of kidnapping, and in Château de Moni, some members, some guests who came to know the principal for 7 days, and then some parents came to fetch them at the end of the 7 days, and they came by car. And around the chateau there is a big park with fences and a gate, and the car was beyond the gate. The parents come, we receive them well, they have a meal, everything is fine, and then the guest or the member, because there was some member, go to the gate go to say goodbye to their parents, and at one point the member was taken to the car and drove away. This is the thing I've witnessed. So maybe some members have lost their faith on that and gone away. I didn't, and many others didn't either, okay? So that's what the first generation went through. And maybe second generation, you sometimes wonder, how is it that they are so strong? They always talk about God, etc. But this is our destiny, my dear. Well, this is our destiny. When I hear a second generation 4 months, 5 months ago, we cannot be like the first generation. I think I told you that already in July in my last sermon. We cannot be like the first generation, always thinking about God. But originally, Adam and Eve were due to be thinking about God all the time. That was the purpose. If we want to restore the kingdom of heaven on earth, that's what has to be. So, not so long ago, I talked to a second generation who suffered because some of his friends are leaving the church or very confused. And I can understand that it's very difficult for second generation who are here or who come very often and see their friends going astray or not be sure, be confused. I can have compassion for that, sympathize for that. I feel very sorry for you, okay? But is all that lost because the church is confused? Shall we pack up and go? And say, okay, that was a story. Let's wipe that past and just start anew my way. We need to be very strong. If we are confronted to the turmoil of this world, we need to be much stronger. We need to fortify our faith, our courage, our determination. I want to show you a video now, which is by David Goggins. It's only a 6-minute video. He was a military. He trained very strongly, and you will see what he says. And the title of his video is Mentally Fragile to Mentally Strong, is where I got my title. Quite a powerful video. I'm sure it talks to each one of us. Now, David Goggins, when he talks like that, he doesn't see the spiritual or religious aspect, okay? However, it's good. It's good to know this. But why we are so weak? When I think about in my country, even after the war, all men were doing military service at least 1 year. And that make them men. Now there is no military service obligatory, okay? Compulsory. But sometimes I'm wondering if it would be good to have some military service. I don't know. You know, the attitude of mind, as he says, is very, very important. To want to be determined. Another thing he talked about that if we keep resentment about, for example, somebody who did something bad to us, in fact, we do bad to ourselves with this. And I talk from experience because I have been the black sheep of my family of 9 children because I'm in the Unification Church. Up to now, after how many years I'm in the church? 44 now. Nobody joined the church, nobody. And it's pointless to talk to them. They got angry if I talk to them, especially 2 of my brothers. So one of them even don't want to see me at all. Now, my way is to invite him when I come to meet, is to send him a birthday card every year, to write for Christmas every year. But some years ago now, 20 years ago maybe, he said to me, "You're stupid enough to write for my birthday. You should know I never will write for yours." So that's his attitude. So I decided I don't want to get resentful for this. This is his problem. Why shall it, like he says, be dominated by somebody else's problem? Well, I have to be free, and I continue to send cards and be free, and to invite him. If he wants to come, he comes. If he doesn't want, he doesn't want. It's up to him. And I have a brother who is also a black sheep. 2 of us. We get on well with each other because we are both black sheep. And this brother is black sheep because something happened at the death of my mom 23 years ago, and still it goes on today between him and the 2 brothers. You know? So I have a sister who died this summer, and I knew she was very sick and terminal cancer. So I went in the beginning of July to see her, and I stayed with that brother I'm talking about. And he said to me, "At the funeral I will go, but I don't stay after for the reception and nothing, I come back here." And I thought, my gosh, it's not what my sister wanted because she was a peacemaker in the family. So I took my courage and prayed about it. When I came home, I wrote him an email, and I told him, because he said to me a few times the past 10 years, "I don't understand how you cope, how you are like that with the family situation, you know." So I wrote to him that when people are angry or resentful about something, they are the first victim of their feeling. And I say, I don't want to be in that. I wrote that to him. And I said to him, if they don't want me to be in their meeting or the funeral, they have to tell me, but I have the right to be there, then they better not come then if they don't want to see me. I wrote that to him. And I say, I would like, because Marie, my sister was called Marie, she would be happy if you were there. I would like you to stay after the funeral and believe that you have the right to be there as well as anybody else. And if they don't want to talk to you, leave them. There is many people to talk to. So he did that. He stayed. I was so happy about that because my sister who passed away, and her children, by the way, you know, they don't want to be involved in those disputes. They were happy that he was there. And my brother after said to me, "Thank you for your email." So I can feel that, you know, sometimes people don't think enough that if we are hurt by somebody, you know, in fact, we hurt ourselves if we keep resentful. This is very, very important. And if we want to change the world, it's not through humanism. It will never happen, you know. It's not through theological knowledge. It's not through academic knowledge. Surely not. It's not through money. Even all those things can be useful. So, in the Chongsong Gyong, Father say, how should the world be managed? That cannot be done through humanism. Humanistic ideology will perish. The question is of whether or not you can embody Godism will be the deciding factor between life and death for each of you. So the question of whether or not you can embody Godism will be the deciding factor between life and death for each of you. Now, the question is not to dilute the truth. There is a tendency in Christianity to dilute the truth, and I am wondering if there is not a tendency in our church to dilute the truth. Let me read something from a Christian writer. He will talk about Christianity, but transfer it to us, Unification Church, things like that. If we talk about Jesus, say about true parents, okay? In Britain, we spend our life seeking safety, ease, and comfort. Yet the church I read about in the New Testament ran towards sacrifice, servanthood, and risk. What is our goal in life? Getting our needs met or laying our lives down? We have somehow squared a circle that allows us to avoid any sacrifice that seem a bit too extreme or costly. Some Christians can't even commit to regularly gathering for worship with the church family more than every few weeks, once every few weeks. This has become a new normal in the church. Some go to church as long as they don't have anything better planned. Church has become part of a spectrum of consumer choices in life, with ourselves as the center. Does God have any off-limits area in our life? Do we think Jesus minds about how we live? Would he applaud our self-sufficiency? Would Jesus comment or challenge our mindset and lifestyle? We are in danger of making up our own version of Christianity in our own image. It is hard for the self-centered to enter the kingdom of heaven. God's kingdom turns the value and culture of the world upside down. We have lost much of the sense of what it means to be radical. There is always a cost in true discipleship. And here's a sentence which is on the sheet you have. The way to freedom is a fiery path of surrender, brokenness, humility, and even persecution. Are we ready to go through with God no matter what it costs? So, see, some Christian people realize how we are. Let's not make our faith diluted. Father say as well this. Have you all come like God? Have you all become like God and true parents in the position of sons and daughters of God? It is easy to say, but not to fulfill. Whether asleep or awake, you must always keep this in mind. These thoughts must accompany you wherever you go and whatever you do, whether you are eating or sleeping. You will not be able to find the path of salvation following your present habitual lifestyles. You need to walk a completely new path of atonement. In order to be recreated, you need to be restored to the original position before the fall, the state of complete self-denial, the state of emptiness. And that can only be done with God. And that's the reason why Father all his life has been talking about living for the sake of others. No, it's not easy. Living for the sake of our spouse, living for the sake of our children is even difficult. Living for the sake of our neighbor is already more easy because they live there and I live here. If I don't like them or if I can't get on, I just don't say hello and goodbye. That's it, you know? But when you are living constantly, this is where the challenges are. Father say as well, today's youth, second generation, today's youth are unaware that when they live for the sake of others, they become central figures, leaders, and protectors. Now, maybe many people want to be central figures, but to be central figures, you have to live for the sake of others. And I praise very much Chris Moloney, to be honest, because I saw him many times, even in a cafe, doing things for others. And he's really trying to help the community. He's really an example for that, and I'm happy about that. I hope that other second generations support him in that. Even I complain when he talks. I can't understand him. Still, I like him very much. And I know his value is great. To live for others is not easy. There are challenges. Are we grateful for the difficulties and challenges that we have? That's also something Father say. We have to be joyful. If we are not joyful, it doesn't help us very much, and it doesn't comfort God. And you know that Father's way of life has always been to comfort God. So I don't know how many of you think often about comforting God. When you think about history and the tragic story that God went through, you can think about many things. Just focus a minute on when you're at home, for example, on morning when you pray or whatever, think about God through the millennia, all the pain that God has gone through. So we are as human beings to restore Adam and Eve, basically. Father has said many times, we have to be other true parents. There's not just one set of true parents. Yes, the central one. Yes, of course, there's one set. But we all have to become true parents. I'm not. I'm trying, We have to try. We have really to work on that. This is the way of filial piety, to offer daily encouragement to God. That is God's will in the world, page 119. It is the way of filial piety, to offer daily encouragement to God. Let's use our difficulties to grow and to be able to help others. From mentally fragile to mentally strong, only with God. Let's pray. Good morning, Heavenly Parent. When you created Adam and Eve, you had such a great hope to see Adam very strong and very healthy and spiritually healthy, really becoming the father of mankind. And you were looking at Eve as the beautiful mother of mankind too. Your dreams were shattered from the beginning. This is our position now, to really turn all the challenges that we have to become more your true son and true daughters. We have to use any opportunity we have with a grateful heart. As already in the Bible it says, the one who gives without joy is not giving truly. We cannot live on resentment, anger, jealousy, depression. We have really to work against all those things, Heavenly Parent, because any challenge that we get in our life is to help us to grow. It's like the storm making the trees stronger and not breaking in. We don't want to break. We want to be strong for you, Heavenly Parent. And we want to help our brothers and sisters to be strong. We pray for that we can be united with true Father and true Mother, and that daily we realize that they are the source of our energy, our strength, our courage, our love. and we want to unite our heart with them very deeply. Please guide us in the week to come, in the months to come. We have basically not even 4 months left for this year, or 4 or 5 months left until the next Foundation Day. We really pray that we can train ourselves to become much stronger, to be prepared for any difficulties or any challenge we can meet in our in this time, and to see any opportunity we have to get closer to you. I pray this in the name of David and I, USA Blessed Central Family. Adieu.